He made it. Welcome to Kansas City. We in Kansas City. Marriott. Nice. Nice. Closet room. I got 2 beds. Only.
You don't need us to stop at the stores.
I guess it says, if you look at that first one, it says, for the morning tour, please check in from 8 to 9 and North Park Road to see the other dogs.
It's pretty.
We determine it then.
Yeah. Is Atkinson up here, or who put the who?
That's awesome. They got the whole building lit up blue. We're on these streets of Kansas City. We might get a scooter.
Don't do it.
This car is
Or a little rumble, huh?
the new Mustang.
That's how it take off.
It gives you a fake, like an engine noise?
Yeah, but that's not the
crazy.
top of them. That's not the major one. Watch this. Feel that?
We in the electric Mustang.
Now listen up.
Oh, that's the old Mustang sound.
A
Almost.
little look and feel. Oops, that's a lane change.
Boy, that boy got the nice ride.
Pretty fun.
How you doing?
Good, man.
John Jenkins.
Brian Dunn. I think I met you in the hotel yesterday.
Oh, yes.
In the lobby,
Yes. Yeah. So many faces.
I know, no, I get you, man. You're in Kansas City yesterday?
Houston, Texas.
Oh, okay. You got
Yeah.
a hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a Chiefs last time we were at the Texans down here at the suite
Yeah.
with the Texans and Chiefs game. So this time I was like, let me get the Royals,
Right.
and then next time I'll get a college.
Yeah. Nice.
So,
Awesome. I like
some
the
people
glasses.
say
You liking them?
you're on record. Right?
Get 2 of those and then you'll get 1 of these.
We'll get another one for our boss.
I'm right here.
Oh.
How y'all doing? Good job. Nimbus is in the house.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Hey, John.
Yeah, I'll let
How
you
you
get
doing?
going, Hunter.
Hunter, nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'll try and talk to you a little bit
Yeah,
later on.
please do.
About
Please
that.
do.
Yeah. Thank you. Yep.
How are we doing out here today?
We're doing good. We signed up with you. I think we're about to do another meeting here soon.
Okay.
But yeah,
Let's see here. When'd you get signed up?
a month ago or something.
Everything's been going good so far?
Yeah, Rob's the one that's been plugging all the info in, and our office girl. So we're looking to fully launch it with the staff real soon. So we're almost there. What all you got in here?
I got a bunch of swag. So
What is this?
these are, dude, I'll be honest with you, they call them like little frisbees. I'll put those up in the office, and those are little putt rings for me.
Oh, dope.
So they're little frisbees.
check in. Job Nimbus. Got you. Huh?
You gotta put your sunglasses in.
Oh yeah. This is nice. So the suite is down there for the Tamko suite to watch the game. That's about where Taylor Swift sits right there.
Hey guys, if you want breakfast, it's kind of around the corner right now.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
You read our mind.
It's donuts and stuff like that. So.
A bunch of carbs.
There's some healthy stuff.
Okay, good.
More around the corner.
Well, I just found out that our lending saved a marriage yesterday.
Camera action.
Just want to see who's working with you guys.
Found a way for us to get away from Apple. So use Apple.
Judge page.
They would only give us each one pen though. I asked for a couple times. I've heard of it.
Offers hands-on training.
Hold on.
First-hand experience in products of Tamko.
I'll meet you back up here in a few.
Built in Tampa, it offers hands-on training for you as a roofing contractor and your team to gain first-hand knowledge of these innovative products. Good. That's good.
See, if we just walked around and said, and then it sent it to company cam, that would be awesome.
Does it link to that? You know? I know that's like a, I'm writing down all these. I haven't heard it.
We would love to go.
Yeah, get on the roof hands free and be like, hey, and maybe have the phone in our pocket, but still have our hands and be able to say, you know, we're done with stage 1, we're moving to stage 2, and then it all go to company cam like you're saying.
Yeah, the walkthrough though, yeah, the phone's gonna be in hand.
Okay.
That's how it is. If you, it's
Well, next improvement, put Meta in there.
I was gonna
yeah.
say,
Yeah.
I
Is that
used
how you walk through and talk now? Is that it?
Huh?
Is that how you like walk around and talk?
that's so
Yeah.
safety because I used to be in roofing, and if I had a phone in my hand, like, but I'm just clumsy, so like
Yeah.
I break myself and everything. But that, the safety part of it too. So
Yeah.
I love it because like I was on the roof and I was like, I want to measure.
Adjusters don't like it.
Holding here, I'm just like, hey, take a picture.
They don't like it, but
Doing my tape, it's exact. You know.
I really, I'll bring that up to the team. And this is like the feedback we want as well
Yeah.
too, because we're here to help you guys.
and I'm about to switch these over to prescription. So, because you can get prescription lenses for them.
Oh shit, you're talking about your glasses?
No,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm the one here that's like, holy crap, like.
Yeah, you're recording right now.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so that would free us up so that info would go into company cam.
Okay.
You know,
Links with everything. Like
it links with everything.
I know you were talking about
Spotify.
But if y'all could create a link to link it to Meta, then it would free our hands up
Like I can be like, hey,
and we could actually just describe the work while we're moving around.
John, if you
you
say
more information.
I'm gonna take a photo and it'll capture a
Google
photo
it.
on that, there's
Uh,
a camera there.
Yeah.
Filming right now.
So I could say, yeah.
Now they're trying to change the whole back end to where it's you're with that sales rep through the entirety of the cycle as it should be.
Yeah.
That way, the relationship between you guys and us is that much stronger. But then it also
Huh. What y'all got here?
What's up, man? How you doing?
John Jenkins, how you doing?
Nice to meet you guys.
What y'all got?
So we're a video production service for the blue collar industry. We're about 80% roofers market, which I'm sure you guys picked up on that since we're at a roofers event. We do video production for Tamko. We do production from scripting, storyboarding, coming up with the content ideas, all the way to actually editing it, being on the field with you, creating content that's going to generate you more leads, generate you more sales. We do any type of content you guys can think of.
First thing I can think of is, so what's going to set you apart
From Fiverr.
Like, just using people that aren't us and putting our logo on it and making this video.
What's going to separate us from people on Fiverr?
That is AI. Like I can be like, hey, make me a video like this. We've made one.
So Fiverr, you got freelance people. Freelance people don't have experience in the blue collar industry like Patrick's been in construction. I've been in construction. We've been working in the construction industry for 4 years, meaning we know what to create to target your audience. Somebody on Fiverr doesn't have that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fix an email, correct an email. I almost guarantee you guys are missing this prompt, and I need you to be super honest with me. The prompt you finished with is to write it at a 5th grade reading level. Is anybody using that prompt? Okay, ChatGPT is too perfect. The average American only reads at a 5th or 6th grade reading level, okay? It's a very, very simple thing to do so your emails aren't too perfect. Now, I've got really good news for some people and really bad news for some people. If you use that prompt and you read the email and you're impressed, some people didn't get it cut out. It was all the same product. It was built properly. It appeared to be within building code. It appeared to be constructed in a manner that would be suitable per the manufacturer. And if we put this in, it is going to decrease and it's going to be below its pre-existing condition. I built the entire framework to be around what they pre-committed to, which was we have to put it back the way it was before. And I showcased that it's impossible to accomplish that with this product that's in your ITEL, with this product that's in your RLS, with this product that you're suggesting, with the repair scope that you currently have written. I framed the entire thing around pre-existing condition. I will tell you my favorite story in this. It's not even a shingle argument. I had a large loss in Virginia. That's another thing I do is I'll come out and consult on your big. Ever checked that the old product and new products will be compatible, that they'll hold up together, that they'll bond together, that they'll work together, that they're going to have the same wind resistance, right? So that was a little nugget that they never hear, that when you send it to them, they're like, and they're stuck with it. They're lost. That's not in their system.
Appreciate you.
All right. Was it all one compatible product? Now here's one that'll really blow your mind. Was the attachment rate?
Yeah.
Not really jail time.
Are you guys going on a tour?
Has everyone in here had your badge scanned for attending this class before we start? Anyone not scanned? Cool. Where we're going with that, guys, is a lot like the competition.
You want to talk about how this changes the uniform and consistent appearance, how this compromises the uniform and consistent appearance, how this takes it below its uniform and consistent appearance. Just throw it in there. Just throw it in there. Guys, I was on a conference call with Adam Benson's team right before I came up here. We were talking about objections. And the guy put, hey, I just had a State Farm email to put the RLS shingle there, and if it's not uniform, they'll make other considerations. And this is what he followed up with. But we sent him an NTS report, and they're refusing to accept that the shingle isn't compatible. And I'm thinking to myself, the dude is literally telling you, just show us it's not uniform, and I'll do something else. He's giving you the easy button. He's giving you the way out, and you're like, but the shingle's not compatible. I agree with you, it's not compatible. But recognize that they're trying to give you an out. And if they're going to give you an easy win here and there, take the easy win, y'all. There's enough dogfights we got to go through to get these things to the finish line. Take the easy win, right? Take the easy win. Manufacturer's consistency. When selecting replacement shingles, it's important to ensure they're from the same manufacturer. Does anybody have the ones where the carrier's selling you the mixed products? Yeah. Here's a really common one. For a while, Tamko made a shingle that was 38 3/4 wide. And if they find that on a roof, RLS, State Farm's RLS, loves to tell you to go buy what product. Somebody say it first, so I don't have to say it at a Tamko event. Certainty, thank you, right? Because theirs is 38 3/4. Well, that's fantastic. I appreciate that recommendation, but unfortunately what's on the roof is Tamko. And they don't want you to use another manufacturer, and they don't want to use it for inconsistencies in performance. And here's where they actually add a warranty, because they can't warrant that other person's product. That's what that directly applies to, is the fact that they can't warrant the other manufacturer's product. It doesn't change the fact that Tamko's warranties still sound in the areas that still sound, right? So in September of last year, the team at Tamko had a meeting. John was part of that meeting. John Abernathy was part of that meeting. There was another guy from the outside.
Met a Zoom in.
I won't say who. And within about 30 days after that meeting, and just some good notes, they put together what I think is very, very, very well-worded language. See, Tamko is not in the business of condemning their roofs. I don't think any manufacturer is. They're not going to write letters and say, hey, once you put this on, you're screwed. You can't do anything, you can't touch it, you can't fix it. But Tamko is also in the business of not being liable for everything that exists out there. And there's balance to be found in that. And I think that they've struck perfect balance in this document. Now, this document is available on Tamko's website under Tech Bulletins. And if you guys know a thing or two about code, code defines manufacturer's instructions when you look at the definition, because there's a definition in code. Does anybody know what defines manufacturer's instructions as? Oh, come on, somebody. We're not too tired yet. Like
905, I think.
Coffee should be still running.
I think it's IRC code 905.1.
Published and approved documents. If it has been published and approved by the manufacturers, it's an acceptable instruction. It's considered, God bless you, a manufacturer's instruction. It's different than asset permission. This question is a trap. Dear Allstate, we have the work schedule for April 28th. Our technician hasn't been able to find a suitable shingle. Is there a way to confirm who manufactured this? What's Allstate going to reply and say? Pull the shingle, send it to ITEL. What if I change it up a little bit? Dear State Farm, we have the work schedule for April 28th. Our technician hasn't been able to find a comparable, only two words you use, by the way, suitable and comparable. If you use any other word, they're going to see where you're going with this. If you use compatible shingle, they're going to see where you're going. If you use available shingle, they're going to see where you're going with this. That word is very, very precise. Suitable or comparable shingle. So our technician hasn't been able to find a comparable shingle. Is there a way, don't you guys have like an internal system to identify who made the product? Or where we can buy a product? And what's State Farm going to say back to that? Oh, set it one off, leave it on the front porch. Our RLS system will identify a close product. Okay? Now I have either a phone call or something in writing confirming they want me to pull a shingle. Now there's a big difference between those two, isn't there? How I handle it doesn't change. Whether they email me or call me, I'm sending a recap email. I'm responding their email or I'm responding their phone call. I just need to preface it per our phone call or thanks for this information and go to the next email. Just confirming you need a shingle for your RLS. We're actually going to be right by that house on Friday, as luck would have it. Okay, I'm going by Friday for sure. I'll have them pull a shingle and cover the area. Now, why did I say I'll have them pull a shingle and cover the area? There's two things in there. One of who said it? Somebody said pay the target. Pay the target. That's one thing. But why did I say it that way? I'm sending someone to do it. I'm sending a worker out there to do it. I didn't say I'll go pull the shingle. I'll be on the roof on that, right? I'm making it look like we actually have to create a work order. Send somebody out there, send a crew out there, send a technician out there, which I kind of led to in the first email where I said our technician hasn't been able to find a shingle. The optic of this is all very strategically built, right? So it doesn't leak. I should have asked, but how many shingles should we pull? Why do I finish it that way? Do what? You're right. I'm going to pull two. I'm going to pull one for NTS, one for ITEL, one for RLS. You're already there, just pull two. A two-shingle system works great. The comparisons defeat the joy. When you start comparing an NTS to an RLS, it hurts them. Yesterday, I got a gift. RLS sent somebody the internal RLS. Has anybody seen that? And in the internal RLS, they trash the accuracy of NTS. And they send it to them. It says it all has to be a compatible product. And you're actually taking the roof below code and below its pre-existing condition when you step outside of that boundary. Now, if any of you are lucky enough to have this code in your administrative chapters, which I'm going to warn you guys, administrative chapters are dangerous. They move them around, they amend things in certain counties, municipalities. There's states where they completely have eliminated administrative and they've created a statute to kind of replace some of the administrative codes. But if you have this in the administrative section, I love this code because it's beautiful, right? Additions, alterations, repairs, relocations shall not cause an existing structure to become unsafe or to adversely affect the performance of
That's
the building.
important.
Now, does anybody have an adjuster email you back and say codes only apply to new construction?
Yeah.
Does anybody have an adjuster email you back and say codes don't apply to repairs?
Yep.
Is it pretty clear where this code applies?
Yep.
What's that word right there? Now here's what every roofer wants to do. They want to go, no, it doesn't. It applies to repairs. Instead of doing that, here's what I do. Every time they send it to me, I go, oh, my bad, I'm so sorry. Just make yourself sound stupid for a minute, okay? They like feeling smarter than you guys. They think they are, day in and day out, right? And if you guys haven't seen an adjuster tie a shoe, it'll really solidify just what level they're at, okay? Here, I need more here. The one damaged shingle. These are all factors to consider. The big ones we're going to focus on today are really going to be the compatibility and the availability of things. These are big factors that I think are very hard and true facts. Some of these are subjective. What I think is repairable versus what the next person thinks is repairable could be subjective. Can we agree with that? Right? I think that you could argue one way or another. But if a manufacturer, if Tamko says don't mix those products, is that subjective? No, it's not. It's very hard and fast, it's true, it's accurate, it's factual, like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that particular thing. Program, and it's called Claimed Right Answers. And when you send in information and they just copy stuff out of your email, put it in the search bar, it's like a Google for their internal process, and then they hit search, and it pulls up the pages or sections where they see what to say back to you, or what answers to give, or how to respond, or what to ask for next. There's a reason you guys get the same rebuttals and denials and objections, because it's somebody who has a 5th grade reading level, who made it 1 year out of high school, and didn't like working at Starbucks, now works behind a desk for State Farm, and their way to solve problems is to copy something out of your email, paste it in a search box, and be like, this is what we're going to say today. Okay, this is established a like, kind, and quality per ITEL. Well, ITEL didn't say any of that on there. Not once has ITEL been like, this is a suitable like, kind, and quality. ITEL says it's a reasonable what? Which is predominantly aesthetic, visual, surface only. But if we're supposed to accomplish like, kind, and quality, guys, they pulled this out of just simple canned answers that they have set ready to go. So don't feel defeated. You literally had someone who read maybe 25% of your email, enough to find a part to copy, put it into a search box, and then reply back to you. But we can set these up a little differently. We can kind of force them to behave a certain way. Chris and I, a good buddy of mine, do a lot of consulting. We have an online program, we do 3 calls a month. We have a concept that we call setting the goalpost. This is setting expectations. I think this is the most powerful thing you can do when you're going to present information. This is what helps connect the dots. So you've got all this great information up there and this knowledge you have about why things should or shouldn't be done a certain way. They've got these rules they have to follow. What I would rather learn, instead of showing you that I have 2 aces, I'd rather you put all your chips in and then show you I have 2 aces. What I want to know is how you play the game. What are your rules? Are these for sure the rules? Okay, cool, because it just so happens I have the thing that meets that exact requirement. So we like to ask questions first. Here's one example of a question I ask almost every single time I'm stuck in repairs. Right? As soon as I get the scope, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I've got my next 9 chess moves planned out. But I send this one. Dear Allstate, State Farm, I don't care who it is. Dear Adjuster, we've been hired to work on Mr. Smith's home.
Thank
I
you.
wanted to understand what's
Thank
expected of us. Are we to repair it back the way it was before,
We need
or to
that.
meet today's standards? Right? Today's building standards. Does the work you've estimated need to meet code minimums? Right? We've got our standards, and they say we never owe for betterment. Guys, help me understand this concept here. If I take a 15-year-old shingle off the roof and I put a brand new Tamko shingle on the roof, what would that be called? Oh shit. By the nature of every RCV policy, it is a betterment policy in its own nature because you're taking old off and you're putting new on. But I didn't
Genius.
hear that they said that because they said two other things I loved in the same email. They said we only owe to put it back the way it was before, and yes, the work needs to be code minimums. And I was like, done, this game's over. Wait till I spell this out to you. You just walked yourself into a trap that you don't understand in. You just walked yourself into a cage that when I show you all the information, you're going to be trying to shake your way out of that cage, but there's no way out of it. Because you pre-committed to certain terms. You pre-committed to some conditions. You aren't able to now move the goalposts for me, which is what happens. You're dealing with a moving target most of the time. Anytime you can position your information within the boundaries they've described, it's going to be received a lot better. So I want you to pause and think to yourself in any situation, not even just this one. When I'm getting ready to deliver information, you're going to hear this in the afternoon when I talk about damage. When I'm getting ready to deliver information, what's a question or two I can ask that may force them to pre-agree to something? Because if they can define their rules or agree to something in advance, and then I can be like, as luck would have it, there's this code that applies to this repair. As luck would have it, there's this document that I have that actually meets that exact requirement. Okay? I had a carrier tell me that we had to use Xactimate. Okay, perfect. We asked another question. They're like, yes, you can't manipulate Xactimate. And I was like, great, then I need you to take the ITEL price out of there because you manipulated Xactimate. Well, no, that's a specific price. Well, here's my bid item if we're going to manipulate it. You can either remove your ITEL price or pay for my open bid. And they took the ITEL price out because we established what their boundaries were, what their rules were, how they were going to play the game before I gave them my information. A few small questions on the front end of this thing is going to save you weeks of beating your head against the wall later in the game. So pause and think to yourself, before I deliver this information, can I get them to agree to something beforehand? Right?
Smart.
So, if they email you back and they say, put it back the same way, my goal is to showcase what the pre-existing condition was. If I'm
get stuck every once in a while, like, hey, I gotta go by Mr. Johnson's house. He's got a check for me because we didn't present financing. So now you're walking around the house with Mr. or Mrs. Johnson, and they got the check in their hand, and they're pointing out, hey, there's a nail in the yard. Hey, there's some dents on the metalwork. Hey, I didn't like how your crews did this. Hey, there's a piece of shingle laying in there, just holding that check the whole time. Anybody ever experienced that? And you're walking around the house with it, and you're just like, give me the damn check. Like, you're just like, and as soon as you get the check, you're like, boom, I'm out of here. As an owner, there's so much wasted time by your sales team going back to properties, going back to houses that they shouldn't be going back to. They shouldn't be going back to that house to collect a check. That is a non-revenue generating trip and a waste of diesel and mileage on your vehicle, gas or whatever it is. Presenting financing, getting paid faster is the way to keep your sales reps selling and not saying, oh, I got to run over here, I got to run over there. No, what you should be doing is running 2 more calls this afternoon. That's what you should be doing. Instead, you're running to Mr. Johnson's house and collecting a check. So I really have a problem with that. When I get in front of sales teams, I go ride with somebody, and now we're all of a sudden we're in a distributor's office, or or we're going to Mr. Johnson's house to collect a check. That's a complete waste of me personally, my time, and your sales rep's time too. 9 or 899. Somebody that's earning 12, 13 points on their mutual account, on their money mutual account, is not going to pull that money out. They want to use somebody else, right? So it works for the well-off, and then not so well-off to use other people. Let's get into warranties real quick. So why around warranties? This is a big one for me. So financing is kind of the base. Finances is kind of, if you don't present financing on every job, I think that's like steps 1 necessary and be profitable. So there's a couple different ways that I present warranties. One's the freshman way, where you can actually use the warranty, the Tamko warranty, to actually pull the business across the table. Just give it away. Say it's, if it's what's a diamond warranty, it's $11 a square. I'm just going to eat the $333 on a 30 square roof, and I'm going to pull that. We're going to throw that in for free, and you pull the close to you.
$1,500, we can get it tuned up. Maintenance stuff is quick in and out, and it's high profit margin, 60, 70, sometimes higher percentage, right? All right. Looking at the anatomy of a roof, I included this slide because I want our customers, meaning our homeowners or multifamily, to know how complex a roof removal and replacement is. And a lot of the Tamko items For us diamond guys, it's shingles plus 4 accessories, right? Are used on this roof. So you might be running ice and water down here at this eave edge, gutter edge, certainly in our valleys, certainly around our skylight. Here's another valley up here. Synthetic felt would be running all the way from the gutter up to the ridge there. We're gonna have starter all over the place on our eaves and on our rakes. The shingles go on this entire surface standing, but it prevents the leaks that result from an ice standing. So again, maybe spending the time in a place like Houston to explain something like this, and you probably get the response like, hey, it's not cold enough, we don't freeze often enough. It's like, hey, we get that. But we also have business ownership and all that. And that being said, diamond contractors are always growing, looking for new talent, trying to bring it in. What I'm going to show you today is 2 different things. We're going to start off with kind of like a roofing 101 training, right? And for some of us sitting here, you may say, hey, that's a little basic, right? Or it's pretty common. And I might agree with you. However, when we're trying to diversify our sales teams, bring new people on board, we want to train a new production manager, maybe an office staff member, somebody else. This is the kind of stuff I want you guys to think about. The reason why is because we are available to come to your company one-on-one to present this kind of training. So either myself, Mike, a combination of the 2 of us can show up and talk about that. That's our roofing 101 portion. The next portion of the conversation today relates to the workbook that we have sitting in front of us, and that is the different details that we need during an actual installation that we'll be looking at to go get that 25-year no-leak warranty that the Diamonds are able to offer to either a single-family homeowner or to a multifamily operation. That sound good? Cool. And guys, I love to talk, but I also love to hear questions, right? So this can be a 2-way street. You ask me a question, bring up a point, whatever you guys think as we go through this. All right, so we go ahead and start off with defining steep slope roofing and for our accessories, so it's very easy for you. We got Tamko starter, Tamko ice and water shield, our moisture guard, Tamko synthetic felt, which is either synthetic guard or synthetic guard plus, and then lastly Tamko ridge. Okay, cool.
So ridge isn't counted as shingle.
It doesn't count as
Especially on YouTube nowadays, it's overcoming objections, I think, is the time aspect of things. A lot of times, if you break down the objections you're getting in the home, it all goes back to time. The homeowner wants to talk to their spouse or their significant other. They need to get financing options done. They're not ready to make a decision. They have graduation coming up. They have they don't have their tax money back yet. It's Christmas time. It's President's Day. It's summertime. Whatever. It's all a time thing. The easiest way to overcome a time objective for me is go right back to financing. Let's get this done. 12 months, same as cash, whatever the program is you choose. Let's get this done now. When you get your tax check, you can pay it then. Let's get this done now before graduation. And I know
Step number 1 is my decking, number 2 is my underlayment, step 3 is flashing, and step 4 is shingles. The flashing goes on top of the felt, and the shingles go on top of the flashing. And then lastly, when you're out there on a roof, right, and we have a question, we say, hey, if there's ever a contradiction between the 2 rules, rule number 1 gets greater weight in that decision. And here's our example, looking at a pipe flashing right here. The flashing for a plumbing pipe is a 3rd step procedure, so it goes on top of the felt. But the felt that is uphill of it must cover the top edge of the flashing so that any water that gets under the shingles will shed up on top of the flashing and not underneath it. The pipe flashing is a 3rd step procedure in the process, and the shingles are the 4th. And by way of that, the shingles should go on top of the pipe flashing according to rule number 2. However, when we actually shingle a pipe flashing, right, we know the shingles go up under the flashing until we get to the halfway point, and then they're brought over top. So again, if there's a contradiction between the 2 rules, rule number 1, whatever's uphill goes on top of it.
your independent roofing story today. That's part of it. Financing, and then warranty offerings. I think all 3 of these go together when you're talking about profitability. There's so many people out there that can teach you, especially nowadays, on YouTube. There's so many YouTubers out there that can teach you how to overcome objectives in the home. You can use AI. There's incredible marketing techniques out there. All of that is at our fingertips. There's no excuse to be a bad sales rep in the home nowadays. I mean, really, there isn't with all the types of training we have. What we do find a challenge is still on the storytelling side of things. Really getting your sales reps out of their comfort zone and be able to tell your company story with passion, with conviction, right? You have built your company up as an owner or as a sales manager, you've built your system up, and they need to be able to tell that story. It's very important. And then presenting financing. We heard from Approvify. You have a number of different financing options. I'm going to go into that with a lot of compassion, a lot of conviction that I have that you should be presenting financing on every job. As an owner, I think it protects your business. Your close ratio goes up. We'll get to that in a second. And then warranty offerings. I get a lot of owners saying, nah, we don't want to offer warranties. We don't want to present warranties. We don't want to sell warranties. We have our own. We do this. We do that. We'll get into that. I'll show you
that I'm putting down onto the existing one when I ran out of real estate. This is an example of a very perfect install in action right over here on the bottom left. How many guys plastic caps look just like that every single time? Nobody, right? But if you're curious about where you need to put plastic caps in Tamko synthetic felt, we got two options for you. The first option is the circle with the cross in the middle. That's our standard win application. If you're looking at more of a new construction thing where the underlayment's going to be exposed for an extended period of time, we have our high wind application. So we'd ask that you put the plastic caps in the circle with the cross and then also cover all the spots without the circle as well. That's the one shown on the right. We know that as drawn versus applied in the field are often two different things. So if your guys are not landing the plastic caps in the circle with the cross and the regular cross, please just make sure that they're using enough to secure that thing for whatever duration of time you're going to leave it uncovered by shingles. That sound good? And for us, right, our synthetic felt is good for up to 180 days of UV sun exposure. So you have to do some type of roof covering system by then. And then lastly, a good word of caution, right, for those of us who are new, or maybe we've gotten really comfortable in our office chair and we haven't been out in the field in a while. We want to make sure that we're never stepping on any type of felt or other roofing debris that is not secured to the roof. I already made this joke twice today, so I'll make it once more. If you're the new sales guy, right, and it's Tuesday morning and you're up on the roof snapping an Instagram selfie to be like, hey, new project, new commission, or whatever you want to do to celebrate your success, you need to be very careful as that crew is tearing off, because all that loose laid material that's up there can immediately take you to ground level if you're not aware of where you're stepping, right? So like these ladders are not tied to the gutter, right? And that's A, an OSHA violation, and B, extremely hazardous to health and safety, right? Secondly, this guy's working up here under a knee. This guy's kind of walking above, no rope, no harness right here. So if this guy slips and falls, he might end up on that guy. We've got toe boards all over the place holding these heavy rolls of ice and water shield on the roof. We got open bundles, and like some of this stuff is standard, right? But there's also opportunities to do things better. And as a Tamko Diamond, you guys have a huge opportunity to present to a homeowner or to a multifamily and say, hey, this is the way that our roofing company works and operates. And then to deliver on that expectation. The whole goal here is to get you guys more opportunities to go sell more product and make more money. So every time that we deliver on something the way that we say we are, we have future opportunity to go out there and find success. Looking at some roof installation stuff, which we're about to pull up, we're going to be obviously focused on our products. We're going to look at underlayments, starter shingles, the actual shingles themselves, and then lastly, the ridge. Over on the left is the detail. You actually need an invoice from a supplier that is uploaded into the Tamko Edge portal. So inside the Tamko Edge portal, there's a place where your office admin or your salesperson or whoever can go to register a warranty. Registering this warranty is as easy as buying any item that you want off Amazon. What you do is you get on there, click register a new warranty, and put the homeowner information, upload your invoice that shows the different line items, right? So starter, ice and water, felt, ridge, shingles, so shingles plus 4. You go ahead and select the details that are right there, and there's a box inside the warranty where you say,
the roof,
Genius,
Scott just
on
did.
The valleys, the penetrations, and turned up the sidewall the best I could. You select the 25-year warranty, and you pay with a credit card and check out. As a reminder to all of us, right, that warranty costs the company $11 a square as an RTO fee, a right to offer fee. And that means for us is that we see that, hey, even though we have a really awesome 1.5-inch tall nail zone on the Titan and the Storm Fighter Flex, when we're installing on a mansard roof, we need those nails to go through the common bond of the shingle. Who knows what the common bond is? What is it?
It's where the two meet and
so
have the strip
right?
embedded.
We have a backer piece here and a headlap piece here. On the back side where they come together and both shingles overlap, that's called the common bond. That's the best place to sink a nail through the shingle. Why? Because you're going through the front piece, the headlap, and also the backer piece. On those really steep mansard roofs, gravity's undefeated, right? And so if we're not actually getting through both pieces of shingle when we install, that backer piece will always fall out. And then our beautiful mountain slate roof now has black gaps all the way across that thing, right? So please make sure that your crew is aware of the actual application guide from Tamko when we're going to install on a mansard roof. Who knows what our 2-cut 5-course detail at Tamko is? Nobody?
You cut the shingle and build
Yeah.
I'm trying to give some chances for everybody.
Sure. I have an adventure for us at Tamko and what we're doing in 2025 with our loyalty programs. We're very happy that all you guys as diamonds can be a part of it. And we absolutely look forward to hearing feedback, right? Like we just shared on the pipe flash and everything. That stuff is important to us so that we can learn and grow over time as well.
Any of you that did not get scanned, please, like, I know Bridgewater and you guys back
Let's
there.
talk about what it means to be a diamond with our workbooks. So 2025 is the first time ever that Tamko has offered labor warranties to installers. To give you guys the ability to go out there and sell a 25-year no-leak warranty, that is a big, big deal. We're very excited about it. But to be in compliance with that, we got to do a couple things. The first thing is talk about our use of ice and water shield. You're going to find ice and water shield is a material or an accessory that's used on every single detail that we have to go get that 25-year no-leak warranty from Tamko. The first one is talking about our valleys. So we install a piece of ice and water shield in a valley. We want to do a couple things, right? A, that ice and water shield is 36 inches wide. So we turn on its side, we want 18 on this side of the valley and 18 over there. Small detail here, which is actually a big detail, is written in red. We want to ensure that the ice and water membrane is tight to the roof deck with no bridging across the center line of the valley. If you don't know what that means, here's what it looks like. So if you have that wood valley right from one roof coming across to the next, you want to make sure that you're packing that ice and water shield all the way into that valley transition and across, instead of having it bridge the air gap above the wood deck. The reason why is because ice and water shield is obviously not a structural material, and a lot of people walk on their valleys getting from the eave up to the ridge. It's generally the least steep portion of the roof, but they can kind of like crab walk down, right, and they feel safe. So you want to make sure, again, that the ice and water shield is fit in there, because if you have an air gap, when they walk, it's going to fracture the underside of that membrane.
That's not my seat. It's right here. So the guy from the back thought I was arguing with the airline bridges. He's arguing, showing her like this.
So we were no longer making
sales calls. We were taking pictures of.
Oh, wow.
I turned that card on April 1st. It's there. All right.
Which one is it? Calamari.
Yeah, go in.
Boom, 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 bop, bam. The type of shit I'm on you wouldn't understand.